So I was wondering about the fact that I'm already the second time coming here and sitting here in front of you, and so much effort crossing the ocean and everything, and but then I'm there, like back home, I feel like I'm going crazy, literally, if I don't have this clarification, this don't get this company, and is it sort of also an addiction?
No. No. It's a need. And you didn't come here. You were brought here. So I brought you here, brought this body to this chair today. So that's how. Which is rare that people come here. But it's not an addiction.
I also listen to like your videos, Charlotte's videos all the time. And if I like stay even a few days without it, I see that the mind takes over and it's getting so hectic. And it's as soon as I have it on the background, doing everything basically at home, like when I can on the street, like constantly having, even sometimes I don't listen, but the vibration of your voice or his voice is making this grounding. And if I don't do that, oh my God, I'm like, I think I'm going nuts from all these impressions which are coming, impulses.
Until the ego is completely destroyed, satsang is necessary. The name and form are necessary until we establish oneself in the knowledge of being nameless, formless. So, name and form tells you you are nameless, formless, right? So, it's not an addiction, it's a need. Watch videos sometimes or read something for some time, but also try to spend some time quiet. You must have heard me saying, Sravana, Manana, Dhyana, Jnana, Sagravana. Listening, pondering, inquiring, meditating. In this case, meditating, Dhyana, meditating is on the meditator. Now, if you can inquire, then rest. If things goes crazy, rest, and then do it again later. Or get some support in the intellectual aspect of the knowledge, right? The audio, the book, it calms the mind, right?
Yes.
And the mind is still dwelling in the knowledge, but symbolically represents its own reality. Because the reality of the mind is consciousness. People get desperate, right, when the mind goes bananas. They don't understand that it is a good thing, right? If you are constipated, right, and suddenly everything starts coming out, right, by tons, wouldn't you be happy? Because all that crap is getting out of your system. Yes. So it is with the mind. All this needs to go out. All that needs to go out. And satsang and inquiry is a laxative, right? They bring all that out of your system. but people don't know what to do. They think that they have to do something about it. See, the good news is that nothing can be done or has to be done. Just be what you are, and what you are is unaffected by it. As soon as you touch it, then it drags you. See, sometimes I call it, it's like a carousel. See, passing by, the hooks passing by on a like on a carousel, right? Like hooks. And then if you grab it, it's the other. If you watch it from here, where do you go? You don't go anywhere. And even if you hook yourself there, you are anyway, you are not going anywhere.
So then it will appear passing by until we don't get hooked anymore.
Yes. Yes. There is no way out. There is no escape. There is no peaceful mental experience. There is no peace in the mind. The mind is movement. Right? And if there is no movement of the mind, it's only for a while, a deep sleep. Mind is expansion and contraction. This is the breath of Brahman. See? Inhale,
Yeah.
brings everything in. Exhale. See, that never ends. And that never began. So people must understand what is the meaning of the end of life, no birth, no death, and all that stuff. Otherwise, they will be under the illusion of some idea that is going to happen after death or whatever it is. It's a good thing. You go to heaven and you go to hell. Heaven are your good thoughts, your good memories, right? And hell is the bad thoughts, the bad memories, and all that, right? One is pure mind, the other one is impure mind, if you want to call it like that, right? There's no way out. As Ramana said, the only choice that is left is not to identify yourself with the body. That's it. That's the only choice. These are big words. This is a huge statement. And I would say you don't even have that choice. Because you will not even have that choice. Either you do it or you do it, because otherwise you will go bananas. Right? That is also surrender. That's the way it is. Whatever it is cannot not be the way it is. If it should be different than the way it is, why it isn't the way it is? Right? There is consciousness, nameless, formless, whatever you like to call it, right? And there is a manifestation. They are not two separate entities. Something appears not in between and creates an in between, right? Not only can create the idea of in between, We can create the idea that there is nothing else here consciousness, that there is the mind and the manifestation. Mm. And this is the one that claims to be separate from phenomenon, separate from what happened. The experiencer, this is happening to me. There is this and there is me, I and this, I and that, right? And it is only a thought. That's a paradox. It is only a thought. I am the body. That which appears in the body as I is the mind, Ramana Maharshi said. This is what gives impression that there is a person there. All these thoughts that appears here gives impression that there is an actual entity, individual self there. The idea that either the body is an individual separate entity or that there is a separate individual soul in the body. It's called the soul, in the jiva. That goes from body to body and all that stuff.
That which now understands what we are talking about is the same one which is doing inquiry later. That which is now understands what you are talking about, is it the same one which is doing inquiry later on? Or it's done?
It depends. It depends. Because in reality, there is nobody doing inquiry and there is nobody understanding. There is only the inquiry and the understanding. That's the understanding. There is nobody that can possibly understand, and there is nothing that can be understood because you need two for that also. The one that understands and what is understood. Yes. Understanding of yourself is realizing yourself as you are. Is becoming, is being aware of being. Self-knowledge, self-realization, or self-awareness, or which is silly because you already know that you are. You are already conscious that you exist.
I can be without understanding.
Yes. It's just a body identity.
So understanding it's like pertinence. It's like it belongs. The understanding belongs to
the mind,
to the
by the means of the intellect.
Mm.
The intellect is a tool of the mind. This is why if you leave the intellect without knowledge to discriminate, right? Because the intellect is a tool for discrimination, for the decision making of daily life, right or left, cup or a glass, rice or bread, right? This or that. Now, remove all that data from the intellect. The intellect gets paralyzed. It has no job to do, right? And the ego without the intellect cannot exist neither. Because the ego has nothing to do with the intellect. It has no toys to play with. It has knowledge. It has no knowledge to think about. And it is like the knowledge merges into the intellect merges into the ego, and then the ego, being left alone, has no choice but to merge into its source.
and what and second. In the environment.
You get it from here, Guatemala, for
Yeah,
some.
what the,
Hmm?
what they have to know.
Yeah, we are back now.
So, in intellect belongs to knowledge. No, knowledge belongs to intellect.
Knowledge belongs to intellect,
Intellect
belongs to ego.
and ego belongs to the self.
Mhm.
And that capacity to understand this knowledge what we are speaking here about is it the same aspect of the intellect which belongs to
Yes. It's at some point one can say that because there appears to be an entity called mind, a person. The person understands, right? But then the person understands that it has to be still. When the person becomes still, the person disappears. So, who has a knowledge of the self? That which disappears cannot know the self.
yeah.
So, this is why the knowledge of the self is called direct knowledge. Because direct means no need for any instrument. See, it doesn't need the help of anybody. It doesn't need the help of the mind, the intellect, the practice of any. It's direct.
So it bypasses the internet.
It bypasses all. I know that I am the self. Like Ramana Maharshi went. So then I realized that I am just a spirit transcending the body. Right? Now, this gets mentally interpreted.
Mm.
So this knowledge gets reflected in the mind. As a thought, I am that, I am the self. But that thought arises from the self too. That is wisdom. And I am the body is ignorance.
The other thoughts are also rising from the self.
Everything arises from the self. One cannot say this arises from the self and this arises from elsewhere. Or that these thoughts arise from the self or that thoughts arises from another person. Right? Everything arises from the self. There's a single source. Mm?
I'm trying to grab the
No, don't try. If you try to grab it, you won't. If you try, you won't. You can only ponder about it.
Yes, that helps like asking a question to the nothingness, emptiness, and then it comes back as a glimpse of realization.
No. Pondering means that you go through it, you chew it, you reflect on it. If you try to understand, you won't understand. If you ponder, you understand ponder?
Yeah.
Your understanding will come by itself. In some cases, the person is listening. While listening, they understand. Or while listening, they bypass even the understanding and they have the direct knowledge. Because again, the intellect will grab it. And what the intellect will do is, okay, what should I do with this knowledge? It will compare it with any other knowledge that it has.
Sure.
It will play with it.
Yeah.
So an entity that appears to exist will never accept that it doesn't exist. I will never believe that it will not accept, see, it will not commit suicide, that I will disappear. No. Why? Then who's going to run the business, right? When people go to sages, they are not interested in whatever they have to say because the interest is in the peaceful state that they experience when they are close to them, and everything just disappears. And they are experiencing themselves as they are. They may not know it yet. They may still believe that they are an individual experiencing peace. Where peace now is the object of the experience of the subject, which is the individual person, mind, ego. At some point you don't. It happens suddenly, you don't even notice it. I mean, you don't notice how it happened because there is no how. The idea of being an individual disappears. And the knowledge of being that peaceful existence just gets revealed by itself, by itself, to itself, reveals itself, by itself, to itself. Not by the means of anything and not to someone else. It's what the memories of listening to Mr. Ratanlal and the mind just going away. Just listening. Or just being there. Or just going to see him with questions and experiences and stuff to share with him. On the way there, everything is gone. Everything was gone. That's why people come here, whether it is online or live. And as you said, life is way more different than that. Mm.
Nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to hide. That's exactly it. Nowhere to hide. People can hide behind the camera. They can just switch off the camera,
Exactly.
even though they can't hide. Yeah, and they know they can't hide. But there is no way to, because there is no way to hide. On the contrary, all what it is hidden should surface. And Jesus said, I didn't come for the wise, I came for the ignorant, right?
Mm.
I'm not here for the wise. The wise are wise, okay, good. I came here for the ignorant. Then let's talk. Mm. Amazing, we are that. But delusion is very powerful. Then consciousness joins the illusion, mixes up, and it appears to be not it because it, but it appears to be limited to it, right? I am the self, but if I believe I am the body, that's a limited thought, right? It's a limiting idea. My reality, my nameless, formless reality is limited to this particular name and form. Then I am subject to birth, growth, decay, death, pleasure, pain, this, that, and the free will, freedom of choice, uh, destiny, karma, action, experiences, thoughts, and all that, right? It's not that you are not the body, it's that you are more than the body. If that will be the case, you are everybody. Remember, Sveta? I feel like I am the table. Like, of course you are. If you don't identify yourself with this, everything is yourself. I mean, you don't perceive it separate from you. Therefore, everything is you. So all what you see is nothing but yourself. That's the meaning of the self. See nothing but the self. It knows no world, no ignorance, no, because it is itself. Not because it isn't there. So who understand? Who knows? Yeah. So forget about all this asking questions to who is it? You are the self. Asking questions to the self reply. The self is your silence. The self haven't said a word ever, even though all words arise from the self. hasn't done anything, and yet all actions arises from it. Hmm? The sun doesn't do anything, it just is. And because of the presence of the sun and the light and its own light, everything grows, but it's not doing it, right? It's just being it. So it's not about having intellectual understanding. All this understanding will come by itself. All what I'm talking about is coming just now. It's coming just now. And I know it at the same time you know it. All that will reveal itself. But you don't need to ask the question. If you need to ask a question for something to get revealed, the you that is asking the questions forcibly has to be the ego, right? So the revelations for the ego, imagine that. So this knowledge reveals itself also. You don't need to worry about a thing, about what to do, what to say, what to think, or how to understand nothing. All that is gone. But we believe that we cannot live without the ego, and act without it, and function without intellect, and so on. Be still. I want to know something. Even if I want to know something, that's ego wanting, right? I want to realize the self, it's ego wanting. Hmm? It's about not wanting, not knowing, simply being. Hmm? Ramana says, don't think that you are, just be. Don't meditate, it says, just be. It's a tendency, we have the predisposition. We were educated that way. Everything has to go through the reasoning. My God, the Russians, oof, logic and stuff. I mean, I love them to pieces because they're great people, right? But all that area, right? Sometimes they are so thick, you know. They remind me sometimes of song from Jethro Tull, so thick as a brick. So to break that through, sometimes. Let me tell you. You were going to say something?
Me? No.
Hmm?
I was saying sometimes my head just so that the emotion here is moving.
Yes.
It's not necessarily I want to say.
Yes. Yes.
It's this moment.
Hmm.
Me distraigo.
If the mind is quiet, leave it. Don't try to look for anything. The whole purpose is to make the mind to become quiescent. The inquiry makes the mind to become quiet. When the mind is quiet, the inquiry comes to an end. The rest is a matter of grace, one can say so. Happens by default, so to speak, by itself. The understanding of being the self, that revelation happens by itself. Mind is quiet, that's all. It sinks by itself in the self. Like the man that doesn't swim on the surface of the sea, it will sink. If it is not moving, it sinks. Even if it falls asleep, it is sinking in the self. The idea is that the mind sinks and yet it is awake. The mind has to be still and yet awake. As still as it was in deep sleep, and yet awake or aware or conscious. Forget about the body, how it's seated, what it's doing, leave it. Who cares about the body? Let the body alone. Now, if by chance the body becomes still, not moving like a stone or something, that's different. But to look for the body to be kept in a particular position, that reinforces I am the body idea. It's meditating postures and all that, just No hay preguntas. Ah, hay preguntas por el chat, sí. Mm. Laura.
I'm not sure. No, it's not the box.
Oh,
I'm not sure for the ticket change.
16.
6
10 for the penalty and 6 for the service of the travel agency.
Oh,
It's okay, forget about it.
I was just, because online it shows 180, the amount to pay, but in the customer service, they told me that online is an error, so it's not relevant. I need to pay only this.
Yeah, yeah. No, Tony,
Because I have to.
no, Tony look after that. It's one of the most reliable travel agencies and the eldest, one of the eldest. No, not at all.
Wait,
Not at all. Mm. Mm.
In the story.
So you see it coming, right?
I see it once it's already.
Exactly. And then you see it coming. Remain as a seer, right? You keep the attention on the seer, on yourself. Then it will not take you for a ride. Even if it goes on, the idea is that self-awareness is not broken, right? But you don't stop being aware of yourself or conscious of being or whatever you like to call it. That prevents identity with what arises. It's like a sieve, so it's like we're in the kitchen and enters through the front door. When you go to the front door, you see it entering and it goes away and walks around and enters through the back door, right? It's always trying to sneak in, right? It's like a thief trying to break in. So more relaxed you are, so it's easier to catch.
Fantasies.
Anything, exactly. Fear, desires, fantasies, memories. It can be anything. Exactly. All that has to surface. Let it come. Let it arise. Don't follow it. Remain as you are. Hmm?
So seductive to follow them.
Hmm?
It's like it's so seductive to follow them. It's like even the negative.
Yes, it's a habit. Because again, the sense of self of the ego is based on identity with that. So it has to, there must be association with it. So it has to join it, mix with it. So it can become it. It becomes what it's thinking, what it's projecting, right? That's what the mind does, brings all this into existence and identify itself with it and split, apparently, seemingly, into subject and object. The mind brings all this into existence and identify itself with it. And is capable to fool oneself and create the illusion that we are it or limited to it. Las preguntas por WhatsApp. Mhm.
Hi, Caesar.
Deep sleep.
Mhm.
Do the animals also have deep sleep?
And dreams too. Same consciousness.
So same pattern.
Hmm?
Same pattern then. The same pattern. Between
Yes.
deep sleep and
Mhm.
dreams. So R-E-M-E.
Hmm?
How does it the deep sleep called in science? Do they call it like I don't know, it's REM rapid eye movement, but that's not the deep sleep, it's the next one stage.
Dream state.
Yeah, I think so. REM, it's called rapid eye movement because it's moving.
The eyes are moving. The body can be moving also.
So all animals, insects.
Hmm? But it's the same consciousness. So it is you. Mhm.
Caesar, can you hear me?
Hola, César. No escucha. Mm. Hola, hola. Mm.
Hello, Caesar.
Very.
Can you hear me?
Say something now?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Ah, you can hear me now.
Yes.
That's good.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Caesar, where does discipline come into this? Like how does that build in oneself? Because I see that I get distracted a lot. Or if I'm in a lot of pain, I try to avoid self-inquiry because I don't want to feel the pain. How do you go past all of that?
There is no how. Just by being what you are. And by remain aware of being and let anything come and go as I please. Are you following?
It's quite difficult to do that.
It's not doing, it's being.
Yeah. Hmm.
There is no way out. There is no escape of thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, sense perception. There's no way out. If the mind feels separate from it and it wishes that it goes away, right? That it could get rid of it, not to feel it, and so on, right?
Uh-huh.
Because the mind creates an object there, separate from itself.
Hmm.
But in reality, nothing is separate from consciousness. And the nature of consciousness is choiceless.
Hmm.
The screen doesn't choose, say, oh, no, don't project me drama, project me romance, right? No, only Disneyland channel, right? Only Disney channel. Don't put HBO and no, see, it's like the TV. The TV has no choice, right? Whatever channel you flick, track. See? The TV is there as a substratum of the projection, right?
Right.
So be what you are, be the substratum that you are.
Hmm.
And you are its source. So we are talking about control again,
Hmm. Yeah.
escape, avoidance. There is no chance.
Right.
The mind is just an idea of duality. I and you. That's mine, basically. I and this,
Yeah.
I and that. And that is on the spot. And this is from where the I want, I don't want arises, right?
Right.
I accept, I reject. Hmm. As long as there is I, there is an idea of the other that I like, one that I want to keep, that I don't like, I don't want, I want to get rid of, reject, love, hate. All this is within you, and it is you. Consciousness and the manifestation, reality and illusion, right? You can't separate them. They are not two, right? That's Advaita, not two. Something appears, not even in between, but creates an in between. See? Creates an in between reality and illusion. Actually, you may even deny that there is a reality. There is I and this. Can you see that? And it overpowers this. I don't know. You put something in between, right?
Uh-huh.
There is no in between. The mind creates the idea of in between, right?
Yeah, sure.
The mind appears here and it covers this one. See this one? Or gives the idea that this one is this. It's limited to this, right?
Right.
Now, if you remove what is in between, right? And then there is only I, because I is this and that.
Yeah.
So as consciousness, whatever you are conscious of is nothing but yourself. So all this is yourself, not only this, right? All these plus consciousness.
Yeah. So that you live in an apartment right now, is that right?
Hmm.
And nothing, there's no issue with that whatsoever.
Who's living,
It's
who's living in an apartment, or there is no issue in the apartment that is perfectly functioning and all that. Can I ask you a favor? I have to open the right cover. There must be the battery charger for the computer as well. Thank you. No, I didn't understand the question.
yeah, sure. I think you've dismantled it anyway, so
No, sorry, I need to understand the question. I'm trying to make sense of the question. Yeah, I live in an apartment now.
for me that would be a nightmare.
Right.
Hang on, I'm just going to close this door. It's hard enough living in a house for me.
Why choices are there? If there is a choice, I would be in New Zealand or Switzerland or something. This is what we got so far, so
Enjoy it.
or not. I think the issue is over, but Nazi is still freezing everybody in the house with the AC, right? That the AC of the apartment downstairs. Apparently, the guy left and set the AC very cold, like
Right.
21, 22. And then
Yeah.
it's our AC is over 23. The whole floor gets wet. There is condensation all over the place, right?
Right.
So look at me. I am in an island and I'm wearing a sweater.
That's what I'm wondering. It's like, what's going on over there?
And Indra couldn't sleep in his bedroom because it was too cold. So we were sleeping, the three of us in the bed with two blankets and covering and very close to each other to warm up ourselves. But for some reason,
Uh,
so because of NASA operation, she was sleeping in Indra's bedroom. She loves the cold.
right.
Even though she wears sweater and socks and all that stuff, it's like she likes the cold. So why do you like the cold? Why do you like to put it so cold if you're gonna cover with hat? So why don't put it in 25 or something and that's it. So she was sleeping in Indra's bedroom. Indra was sleeping with me, but so I joke like, okay, now it's my room, my rules. This AC, minimum 24. I still
Yeah.
I sleep with this in a blanket, right?
That's crazy.
But the issue seems to be gone. I mean, if you put the AC in 24, 25, that's okay. The floor is not. But the whole floor is like you open the house and the count,
Sprinkle water everywhere.
yeah, water everywhere, right? So sometimes these things happen, right?
Yeah.
The shower of the main bathroom is blocked. We don't know it can be unblocked. And it's to be unblocked, you have to break the wall or just use a wire. We don't know because the plumber hasn't been able to come, right? So,
Right.
see, so there are no, life has, there are no exceptions.
Yeah.
Sometimes like this, sometimes like that.
But it's the ego that has a problem with these things.
Mhm.
If there's an ego there, that's what has the problem with things.
Yes, it takes it personally because it is what is happening to somebody. When in reality, it's just
Right.
happening. And
Right.
the way of the speech to say
Yeah.
it's happening, right? So, I mean, if I have a choice, I will be for sure elsewhere. No, maybe back in Thailand or something. Right? India itself, maybe.
Hmm.
This is not a separate individual being, right? This body is the totality of the manifestation, right?
Right.
So it doesn't move separately, independently. It cannot choose to go here and there. It depends upon the big picture. The game is bigger than me.
Yeah, sure.
And nothing is separate. Right? Even science says that if you blink an eye here, it affects the, I don't know, the galaxy, whatever, somewhere, right?
Yeah, sure.
They call it connected. It is connected. It's not even connected. It's one movement.
Hmm.
It's like a watch. Even if it is a tiny little piece, without that tiny little piece, right? So that piece has to be there, right?
Uh-huh.
Moving in a particular way so the totality of the movement of the watch can function.
Yeah, sure.
And this nobody understands or can possibly understand. I mean, you only can see for what it is. That's what I mean by understanding.
Uh-huh.
Why? Nobody knows. Purpose, meaning, reason, this cause, forget about that. Even to understand or to know, you need to, one that is going to understand this to know that that doesn't
Yeah,
exist, right?
yeah, sure.
That's the whole point. There is no separate, autonomous, independent entity called world or mind, which is the same because the world is a thought, and that's what mind is.
Right.
There's no second entity called Maya, illusion, world, manifestation, whatever, right? There is no second entity called cup. There is only ceramic.
Hmm.
So apparently the ceramic has a name and a form, right?
Right.
This is the byproduct of the illusion, right? That gives the impression that oneself, the self, has a name and a
Uh-huh.
form, and that it is limited to it.
Yeah, sure.
That we are subject to birth, growth, decay, death, free will, destiny, karma, reincarnation, bondage, liberation, and so on. How do you get to know that there is no how? This is why this knowledge, either the knowledge of the absolute, of being the absolute, and the knowledge of the illusion and being the illusion is direct. Direct means there is no how.
Right.
No technique, no system, no method. You just know it. By being yourself, you know yourself, and by being yourself, you see the functioning of the illusion. You see how it works, but not the reason, or the purpose, or the meaning. So, what else?
Oh, that's good.
Okay, time up.
Thanks, Cesar.
You're welcome. Okay. See you tomorrow. Send regards to Sana.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yes. Bye-bye. Hasta mañana.